I was going to begin this week's episode by breaking down the Ted Cruz and Matt Gaetz versus Ron Perlman Twitter beef, which I feel compelled to address on the show because, day one Chapo heads, like the real hardcore fans will know that I made my sort of podcasting debut as an expert on the TV show Sons of Anarchy. Shout out Street Fight. So I have a lot to say about Ron Perlman, Clay, Sam Crow, and Ted Cruz. But this whole saga was instigated by Ron Perlman going at Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz. And just like we cannot even begin to get into the Ron Perlman shit.
Yeah, the Ron Perlman stuff's like honestly like kind of boring. So like basically it's some stupid argument with Matt Gaetz, and then Ted Cruz was like, "Why don't you wrestle my pedophile friend?" And just one adult who wants another adult to wrestle a third old guy. But okay, you know what we always say about the House of Representatives, that it's a program. The House of Reps is actually the only program in America for people who shouldn't have a job anywhere else.
Okay, so this whole story has been completely preempted by Matt Gaetz's already, and this happened like a couple hours ago, already legendary tweet about, I won't say he has a large adult son. I will just say he has a son of equivalent size and age to him, named Nestor. Okay, this is what Matt Gaetz said this morning. He tweeted a photograph of himself. He's both wearing shades next to a man that looks to be about 35 years old. And he says, "For all those wondering, this is my son, Nestor. We share no blood, but he is my life. He came from Cuba, legally, of course, 6 years ago and lives with me in Florida. I am so proud of him, and raising him has been the best, most rewarding thing I've done in my life." Okay, this raises so many questions here. And then like I said, this only happened a couple hours ago, and like the layers just keep being unearthed. Like it's just like the geographic strata of shit that's going on here is still being unearthed. Where do you guys want to begin with Nestor, who apparently was his congressional page in Congress at one point? There's a video of him referring to a guy sitting in his living room as his helper. And also the fact that the guy looks to be about 30 years old.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's tonight me a heart-rending story about love conquering age and language barriers, and I think that we should all celebrate it.
Yeah, so the immediate impulse is to say human trafficking, right? But I think it's probably something more sordid and weird than that, because I don't know, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I would like a hearing. I would like Mr. Gatz to be interrogated by the ethics committee, who ask him if he used his powers to become an uncle illegally. But I don't know. I feel like we're only scratching the surface. Like, Matt Gaetz is a perfect example of what kind of person ends up in Congress, especially on the R side. It's someone who, like, at every stage of their life has accidentally killed a person.
Oh, yeah.
Like, starting in kindergarten. Like, they accidentally shoved a pencil down someone's throat in kindergarten, and that just kicked off their whole life. They get DUIs just for fun. There's some weird shit their parents do. In Matt Gaetz's case, his parents' job is that their house was the house from the Truman Show.
Oh, God. I mean, I had that next thing coming up where it's just like this thing where it's like, I don't know. Is this all the Truman Show? Is this all just a fake fucking TV show? That Matt Gaetz grew up in the house from the Truman Show, the movie about a guy whose life is like made up in a TV show?
Hear me out here. Knowing what I know about Matt Gaetz, I'm going to say that this is accidental human trafficking, but he's done it multiple times. What do you guys think?
My genuine take on this is, forget it, Felix. It's Florida.
Yeah.
I just found out that Matt Gaetz is currently serving in Joe Scarborough's former district seat in Congress. To get elected to Congress from Florida, it's like you have to get like blooded in. You have to kill someone to be a politician in Florida.
I I don't know. I don't
so
buy the idea that it's human trafficking because I mean the congressional page program being used as a way for chicken hawk congressmen.
Oh wow! Wait, another guy from
never
Florida.
happened.
Another guy from
that's
Florida
never
using the
happened from a
congressional
Florida guy.
page program to, let's say, have sort of I don't know, cruise for helpers.
Yeah, see, unrealistic.
That was cool when Mark Foley was seen at a Trump rally.
Wait, when did that? Was this recently?
Wait, hold on. Actually, it might have been Mark Foley seen at rally. This was in 2016. Yeah, Foley sat in like the front row to Trump rally in 2016, and it was like that's when we should have known Trump would win because it was like, oh, he's opening the chaos rifts. Like he's talked to the old gods.
God, oh my God, Mark Foley. I will never ever forget. It probably like my dying thoughts will be of the text messages between Mark Foley and that teenage boy, where he was just like, he asked the kid, "Are you horny?" And the kid goes, "Yes." And Mark Foley just says, "Cool."
Yeah, Mark Foley's like future. He's like not gonna sing for these hoes. I liked there was like a 5-year period where every week it seemed like there was a scandal where a politician got caught sending the most embarrassing like BlackBerry messages ever to like an 8th grader every week. Like it was to an adult woman. Remember Mark Sanford's that were like, the last few months with you have been like a whirlwind.
Yes.
That's a very formative memory for me. But Matt Getz, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I think that it's like they're like knowing what I know about this party. They're probably both scamming each other in some way, and they're doing some weird thing called like uncle play. And it's like part king community, part like cheating on your taxes.
Like I said,
that's
like,
what I would guess. Like Ashley Feinberg said she's not touching this one, so
you know that there's got to be some sort of OxyContin dealing going on in some way. I'd say that if you want to understand this relationship, just looking at it, seeing the videos, specifically seeing the video of him at his piano and introducing his helper Nestor, when he did not say that he was his son. He's never said he was his son before now, even though there's a bunch of pictures of them together. And he was not at his swearing in. And when he got his last congressional term started. As far as I'm concerned, this is all explained in the classic HBO film directed by Steven Soderbergh, Behind the Candelabra.
Yeah, I would say that, or I would say the equal epic JFK by Oliver Stone.
Yes, yes. Poppers dressing up like Mercury.
This is a setup like that.
Yeah,
like this is like there's no romance or real. It's like very 1960s style sexuality.
Yeah, there's just passing a medicine ball back and forth.
Yeah, no, and it's
there's no mystique or like sensuality to sex. It's just like this thing you reward a guy for like having a job with.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously,
sex.
when I first saw this, of course, like your immediate thought is yes, human trafficking and some sort of like a grooming going on here, but like I think Felix, you're right. I think what's actually happening is something even weirder than that. And I think you're right that this is like they're both running a scam on the other person, and they're both doing a scam together, or like there's just something going on here where it's like kink but not sexual.
Exactly.
It's just
like
weird.
Nestor. Nestor is giving this guy who's only about like a decade older than him baths in exchange for like the option to buy a Smoothie King in 3 years in Redondo Beach.
Just scrubbing his back with a giant loofah.
Yeah.
While he's wearing a bathing costume, a two-piece bathing costume.
They're both like they both wake up every day and bathe in a clawfoot bathtub like the Three Stooges, and they're both like, "Oh, I'm getting such a good deal out of this."
I will say when someone turned up Matt Getz's Venmo history, where it's just like he gets requests and it's just like, "Hey, this is Nestor." Reminding you, like it's like okay. I mean, whatever. Like if I had a son who was like 2 years younger than me, he'd probably be hitting me up for fucking money all the time too. This is just what 30-year-old men are like. Anyone who lives with one knows that that's what it's like to live with a 30-year-old man.
Yeah, if you're out there listening and you're like 26, 27, and you want to be my son just so I can win an argument,
we will be taking applications starting right immediately as this episode airs. Send your
Yes.
applications to be our son to chapotraphouse@gmail.com.
This could be a TV show. Touch the Bachelor. It could be the uncle.
A TV show? You mean what, like the Truman Show and the house that Matt Gaetz grew up in? Yes.
That's awesome. Like, I can only imagine the weird politics of the Florida shithole that they live in. But it probably was like the deal with like the local GOP was probably like, well, we have to let him be the congressman because his parents had the Truman Show house. Like, well, that's probably literally what fucking happened.
Matt Gaetz's dad was a Florida state senator, Don Gaetz. And in addition to multiple DUIs, I mentioned this on the show before, but if you just Google Matt Gaetz freshman roommate, there's some stuff there, shall we say? I mean, his freshman roommate at Florida State University turned up dead in their dorm room under suspicious circumstances, and the local police were initially investigating it as a homicide, but they were like the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, apparently under political pressure from Matt's dad, Don, hastily ruled it a suicide. So, I mean, I think he was like, maybe he did that, like that sort of urban legend scam about if your freshman roommate commits suicide, you like get like straight A's for the semester. He saw that movie with
Dead Man on Campus.
Yeah, with what's his name from Saved by the Bell, and then he killed a guy.
Paul Gosselaar.
Yeah, to get out of going to class at Florida State University. And also, like, just the original quote here, like, the language in it is so funny where he just says, we share no blood, but he is my life.
It's just like, I mean, that just makes me think they literally are sharing blood.
Yes,
Not by relation, but through some method.
Maybe he's doing the Peter Thiel thing. He's getting like the youth infusion so that he can make sure that he can be getting deadly DUIs into his 120s.
Yeah, I mean, more power to him. DUIs are one of the only rights actually enumerated in the Bill of Rights. But no, like we said, Ashley Feinberg said she's who will touch this?
Nestor.
Besides us.
I don't know. I mean, really looking into it would involve going to Florida, so that's a big
fine.
hurdle.
That's fine.
Although
I like going to Florida.
Well, that is where the convention's going to be now. They moved it from Charlotte because the governor there won't guarantee that they're going to let them all cough into each other's mouths on the floor. Yeah. So, of course, they're going to Florida. So I'll be there. And while I'm there, I'm getting to the bottom of Nestorgate.
Yeah, we should all just go. Fuck it. Who cares? I don't care if I die.
Can we Airbnb the house he grew up in, the Truman Show house?
I would love to go to the Truman Show house, which apparently has a fucking plaque on the fence that just says the Truman Show house. Another normal day for some totally normal people. I'm glad they represent us. Our normalist humans representing us in Congress.
That is representative of like the place.
It's true.
Probably,
yes.
Like, to be honest.
The fucking Florida Panhandle, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just a bunch of fail sons just drunk driving Jeeps into each other at 120 miles an hour.
Every 10 years, kill somebody by accident or accidentally steal them from another country.
There's all this. There's a picture of him from his Facebook in 2016 with him as his page, and it just calls him local student. When did he fucking do that? When was he supposed to have made this adoption? I mean, if he just did this because this all started because he got owned by a Democrat in Congress about how you can't talk about what it's like to have black kids living with police brutality because you don't raise black children, you don't raise non-white children, and his response was actually, this mysterious Cuban man who lives in my house is my adopted son. Don't you look like an idiot?
And also, just that concept. First of all, you've got the classic Mr. Show sketch of the adopted son, where like David Cross is like the adult man that they adopt.
Yes,
yes. They come over with the video camera, and he's just like drinking beer on their fucking sofa, like being surly.
Listen, can we send this guy back?
Send him back. This is our new son.
I don't care. If you haven't noticed, this guy's a real asshole.
Come on, Dad. I didn't ask to be born.
And wasn't this correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't this a plot line on 30 Rock where Tracy like attempts to like adopt a man as his kid?
It's a guy who is scamming him that he is his illegitimate son, but he is older. He is older than Tracy is. Yes.
Like I said,
life a movie.
forget it, Jake. It's Florida. Oh man. So to circle back around to where I originally wanted to start this show, Matt Gaetz went at Ron Perlman because Ron Perlman is like, you know, he's a Twitter lib, but I would say he's one of the realer ones. You know, like I always fuck with Ron Perlman because, you know, he is like on that vote blue tip, but he's also like, hey Don, I hope your kids get AIDS or something.
That is,
yeah.
So every other Twitter lib now, like they all got MK Ultra brain poisoning, and they're all like Chris Evans, and they're like, "Hey guys, sign my petition that tells the White House that newspapers are important." But like, Ron Perlman remembers what celebrities are supposed to be, which is stupid, and hit like just like I love Ice Cube. Like, yeah, Ron Perlman is like, I wish I could go back in time and kill your mom, Donald Trump. Like, it's awesome. Like, good. You're gonna do that, dude.
And
that
it just,
way.
I have to
He's a
bring it up 'cause,
G.
like,
Remember when Peter Fonda threatened to put Barron in a cage before he died?
Peter Fonda, the last like month before he died, he was like, "What if somebody raped Barry?"
It's from an earlier generation. It's before they got all the fluoride. It's before they got all the fucking soy.
People over 60 are immune to MK Ultra poisoning.
Yep, it's true.
Yeah.
So I just have to bring it up because, you know, like Sons of Anarchy is, you know,
Foundational.
it's a thread that like is the foundation of this show. And it was like I forget what he said to Matt Gaetz, but he was, you know, he was spitting some fire, and Matt Gaetz replied where he says, blue check marks don't scare me any more than your fictional white supremacy motorcycle gang. Leave the tough guy comments for those of us who face the voters. And I'm sorry. I have to correct the record here. Facts matter, sir. The Sons of Anarchy Rebel Motorcycle Club Redwood Original, yes, according to their original charter and bylaws, could not ever accept a black member. However, that was changed by the end of the series when Jax rewrote the rules of the group so that they could make the former leader of the all-black motorcycle club, the Grim Bastards, a full patch of Sons of Anarchy. After the Sons of Anarchy, of course, got all of the other black bikers killed by, I don't know, the Chinese, the IRA, and the cartel at the same time.
Damn it.
Probably for a net profit of $40. Probably for zero, but just no gain.
Yeah,
But,
like Jax got all of the Grim Bastards killed in like a scratch off lottery shootout gone wrong. So yes, the Sons of Anarchy. Look, there are no SJ Dubs, all right, but if you care about the facts, sir, you will know that the Sons of Anarchy has long done anti-fa praxis against actual white supremacist groups like the AB and Henry Rollins and Adam Arkin and the Nords. The Nordic Nazi gang, led by Mitch Pileggi of the X-Files. So
we should. I mean, Matt Gaetz displaying a lack of knowledge of Sons of Anarchy and Sam Crow. We could actually primary him now.
Absolutely. This man has
Like he's-
disgraced
yeah.
the proud American tradition of guys who murder each other for $10.
Yeah. No, I mean calling Sam Crow a white supremacist is insane. But we will be going to Florida first to investigate like his nephew ring, also for the RNC, but also to primary Matt Gaetz and all three of us to share a congressional seat.
So it's Sam Crow. They're at the clubhouse table. They need to get a vote on something. You got Clay at the front. You've got Bobby Elvis. You've got Chibs. You've got Jax, the VP. They're like, listen, we got to do a deal to get out of guns and get into trafficking nephews. But first we got to cover our asses with the cartel and the Yakuza.
Then Jackson, his like shitty accent that always slips back into Australian, like, I don't know, but my dad said that nephews are a bad business to be in. Says anyone who moves major nephews in California gets pinched by ATF. He's like, don't worry, Don't worry, Jax. Moving nephews is easier than moving anything else. I moved nephews in and out of Vietnam with your dad.
These new shipping containers.
That's what paid for Teller Moro Automotive was the nephew trade.
The nephew trade.
The Mekong Delta.
Wait, now I'm imagining. I'm sorry. Now I'm imagining Matt Gaetz and Nestor Whereas everyone was like, okay, wait, what the fuck? Like, how all of a sudden this guy is his son after being previously referred to as a local student and page and then a helper? Look, he was a prospect then. Just this week, he got the full patch of son.
Yeah. So that means he killed 78 people and earned the club, which is just him and Matt Gatz, $420.
Yeah.
Minus expenses.
Yeah, they're looking. Jax is pointing around. He's like, you see this split level house with the 3 mortgage on it? Bought by nephews.
That's the best thing about the Sons of Anarchy. They all live in like ranch homes that are made completely out of asbestos, and they're like, I would never give up this lifestyle.
Hey, here's the thing. This is my family. This is family. We may not share blood, but we're brothers. They're my life. They are all my fathers and sons. And at the height of our power and criminal empire, I was making upwards of $20 a day selling mids and doing scratch-off tickets.
The Sons were so... That is like the perfect crime show. I loved it. Like, someone wrote one of those like articles that was like, oh, like Breaking Bad is sort of a white fulfillment fantasy because it's about like what if a smart white guy
I can be better at selling drugs than like any like Mexican or like non-white person,
which is like an interesting critique. But someone also tried to make that critique of Sons of Anarchy, and it's like, if Sons of Anarchy is woke on one thing, it's that these white guys are terrible at crime. They're the shittiest at it.
They're so bad.
They have never turned a profit. They get 380 people killed every mission. They can't even move something from like fucking Redwood to Sacramento without losing half their charter. They suck. Jax gets his shit tuned up by a 60-year-old IRA guy in a barn. They suck.
Oh God, that was awesome. That was
They
so
accidentally
good.
ship all the nephews to Little St. James. God damn it! Who was looking at this bill of lading?
Okay, dude, Kurt Sutter, if you're out there, you must understand that we're your biggest fans and supporters. You have to. I know you were fired from doing the Mayans MC show because you're too smart, you're too much.
Because he was too fucking real.
He's too fucking real for these suits.
We don't like these Hollywood pussies either, Kurt.
I hate them. I'm with Kurt Sutter. We need him back on television, and he needs to do a show about the Florida nephew ring.
Dude, would get Kurt Sutter back into show running a top 5 TV show, Biden presidency.
Oh yeah,
That'd be good.
Kurt Sutter thrives under Democratic presidents.
That would be like Jax Teller being president.
Yeah,
Like with another 40 years of CTE and like meth use.
well, if you think about it, all those Democratic plans are like, if you open a small business in a majority black neighborhood and you got a Pell Grant, blah, blah, they're as convoluted and shitty as any Sam Crow plan.
It's true.
oh yeah.
All right. Yeah, we're going to solve racism. All right. We're going to take all the black nephews out of the black neighborhoods and we're going to ship them to the white neighborhoods and do a nephew exchange program.
But to do that, we have to to get into the nephew trade. We're gonna have to do a deal with the Chinese, which means going to war with the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. Is the one thing we didn't want to do was go to war with the anarchists. I know we're supposed to be Sons of Anarchy, but like we just have to do this deal to go legit and get into the Nestor business.
Gotta get into those nesters.
I would love a Nestor.
Yeah, who would?
Who wouldn't want to add a Nestor?
Just a helpful young man who hangs out while you tinkle on the ivories.
Yeah, I'm 2 years older than him, so I have a lot of life experience and wisdom to impart to him.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, hang out by the pool.
Oh man. So just I do want to get into this because so Ron Perlman said of Matt Gatz that I thought Jim Jordan was the ugliest guy in Congress until I saw your face or something like that, which is like totally true, by the way. Because I was looking
Matt
at
Gatz is hideous.
I was looking at photos of Matt Gatz's like bizarre. Someone on Twitter today said that he looks like he tried to get plastic surgery to look like Jim Harbaugh, but went to like the cheapest doctor he could find. And that sums it up. And I was just thinking, like pondering Matt Gatz is like I remember like the crop of like right wing congressmen that I was obsessed with, and of like the Bush era. Guys like Tom DeLay, Jim Sensenbrenner, just like fucking gargoyle like freaks who have now all gone away and been replaced by this like the young guns, this new crop of like younger, even stupider, even more grotesque looking men.
Yeah, it rules.
It is. It's a real devolution. So anyway, Ron Perlman calling Matt Gaetz ugly raised the ire of Ted Cruz, who writes here, listen, Hellboy, you talk a good game, but you've got Hollywood makeup and stuntmen. I'll bet $10K to the non-political charity of your choice that you couldn't last 5 minutes in the wrestling ring with Jim Jordan without getting pinned. You up for it, or does your publicist say too risky? I'll just point out that Ron Perlman is 70 years old. and Ted Cruz, why would you bring up wrestling in conjunction with Jim Jordan? Why would you want to remind people of the fact that he was the wrestling coach at the Ohio State University program when like every single kid on that team was getting their asshole fingered by like the team doctor?
Yeah, he covered that shit's up. Graham Spanier of fucking Ohio State.
But I mean, the last thing I wanted to mention about this is like Felix said it immediately. I don't think if I tried to, I could write anything funnier or more Ted Cruz like than being like tough guy talk on Twitter to be like, Hellboy, like you won't be so tough without the right hand of doom and your stone hand, and Hollywood makeup. Why don't you wrestle my friend for $10,000 while I watch?
Yeah, like it is a baffling exchange, on all part, but like especially from Ted Cruz's end. Like, for a grown man to be like, fight my other friend who's also 60 is mind-numbing.
And again, credit to Ron Perlman for immediately replying, being like, what kind of motherfucker asked someone to wrestle and fight his friend?
Good question, Ron.
Yeah.
This is like, I guess the theme for today is just the collapse of America.
Oh, yeah. It's been the theme of the show for a long time now.
Yeah, I guess so.
But you know what? More positively, here at Chapo, we uphold Ron Perlman in all his endeavors, one of my longtime favorite character actors. But ultimately, we uphold and practice Kurt Sutter thought. Sutter praxis and
huge,
thought.
Yeah.
That is who we must hew to in these tough times. Is like the ideology and political action of the genius Kurt Sutter.